So hey, basically what I want to talk to you about is the law enforcement piece only, law enforcement and prosecutors. So we don't do personnel services with law enforcement grants. It's all enforcement or activity hours. Basically, we pay you to work. And that's the way it is. So we pay based on your actual pay rate, no overtime or anything. So if you make $62.35 an hour, that's what we'll reimburse you at. And it is a reimbursement based upon how many hours that you work on the project for that particular month. Enforcement and activity hours can be used for any qualified officer or deputy associated with the grant. So let's just say, for instance, if you had a high visibility enforcement grant and you had basically two people that were the resources for that, that was usually the ones that was doing the stuff, but one of them goes to school for a month, or his wife has a baby, or she has a baby, and they're out, you can take somebody else and stick them in there. It's not specific to a person. You can just do a sheet for them. This doesn't apply to traffic source resource prosecutors or training staff at Prosecuting Attorneys Council or Georgia Public Safety Training Center or anything. It's strictly on the HVE and the HEAT grants. So what's allowable in these HVE and HEAT grants? Only project hours related can be claimed. You work 4 hours on the project, your 4 hours are allowable. If you got and only training directly related to the project, we'll pay for that as well. DRE, standardized field sobriety, ARIDE, CPST, LIDAR, radar, things such those that are related to highway safety we'll do. We won't pay for SWAT training. We won't pay for driver training, and we won't pay for our governor's initiative classes. None of those have to do with highway safety. It's got to be directly related to highway safety. And like in a HEAT grant, there's a requirement for all of this. You've got to have one DRE on the team. You've got to have everybody standardized field sobriety and ARIDE trained. You've got to have one child passenger safety technician. All of the people on there all of the officers on there has to have speed detection. But it's all of that's got to be documented in the application. If you've got to have, if you need some of this, when the resource requirements, that's when we put in there, training for this, and why you got to have it. What's not allowable? Court time. It's crazy. Miss Scarlett will tell you, I've fought for it, she's fought for it. We took it all the way to NHTSA, and NHTSA says, no. Here's where it says so in the Code of Federal Regulations. You can't do it. So if you have court, if you're doing that, we can't pay you for the court time. We don't pay overtime. We pay straight time. It's just straight time. Whatever your hourly rate is, that's what we will reimburse. We talked about the general post training, SWAT, firearm certification, all that kind of stuff is not directly highway safety related. We can't pay for it. We can't pay for in-service training. You're trying to get you 20 hours or how many you got. If it's not part of highway safety, we can't pay for it.